Hey everybody, welcome to the Hutchcast. Today's topic, we're talking about football. I'm here with Matteo and Shaun. Who do you guys think is going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl this year?
Um, me personally, I'm a Steelers fan, so I can't really be biased on that. So I'll probably have to say either the Eagles or maybe the Seahawks could go back to back.
I can't be biased either. I would love to say the Eagles, and we have a strong chance. But I think our secondary is gonna leave some of desired, like our safeties. Obviously, losing Reed Blankenship, losing Sidney Brown in the offseason. But I think it's gonna be a Rams Bills Super Bowl. That's what I'm looking forward to. If it's not the Eagles, it's gonna be the Rams and Bills Super Bowl.
I like that opinion. What teams do you guys think are going to surprise you?
Hmm. Um, I think the Chiefs could do good this year. They didn't have such a hot season last year, but I think they could definitely make a bit of a comeback and go back to that dominance they had over the past couple of years.
Do you think they'll disappoint again?
I think I think they'll lose in the playoffs, but I think they'll definitely do better than last season.
Okay, what about you, Shaun?
So there's a lot of teams that could surprise us. I think Jacksonville is going to have a disappointing season. I'm going to start off with that. Jacksonville, they have the pieces to be a solid organization, but I feel like they make it to the wild card and they show signs of like they shouldn't be there. Yes, they beat the Chargers like 2 years ago with that big comeback. I think it was like the biggest comeback in playoff history, excluding the Super Bowl. But I think the Jaguars are just not going to have a very exciting season. And on the flip side of that, I think the Lions are going to be a dominant team. And I feel like that shouldn't surprise me, but also I remember the 0-16 Lions. And I remember when the Lions were like a relevant team for a while. But all of a sudden they have these pieces, and I think they will have a very great season, almost like the Seahawks had this year.
Okay. What teams do you guys think are going to be the underdogs? And what teams do you guys think have the most pressure on them?
Um, I think the team that's probably the biggest underdog. Hmm. Um, I don't know. Like Sean brought up, the Jags are definitely solid, but they usually do choke. But I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not really sure how to answer. It's an underdog.
So, do you disagree with Shaun's opinion? Do you think the Lions will disappoint?
Nah, I think the Lions will definitely live up to expectations.
So,
And
just the Jaguars will.
yeah, and also the team with the most pressure, probably the Seahawks, since they won it last year. So people will probably be expecting them to do as good or at least pretty far into the playoffs this year still. So yeah.
A team with high expectations, the Eagles. The Eagles are on the hot seat right now. It's either Jalen Hurts does a spectacular job and makes it back to the Super Bowl, or at least to the championship game and shows that he's a good quarterback, or he's just done after this season. And obviously, we're 32 days away from June 1st, which we'll see if A.J. Brown finally gets traded. Obviously, if he does, that'll be a big hit on Hurts's production. But I think it's a make or break season for the Eagles. Underdogs, I'm going to say the Titans. And I don't think the Titans are going to make it to the Super Bowl or anything, but the Titans shouldn't make the playoffs this year. They should have a decent, better year, but they should not make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs as a strong team. Now, they won't make it all the way, but that's my team that I think will be able to make it to the playoffs.
Okay. And Sean, I hear you talking a lot about the Eagles. Are any of your top 5 QBs on the Eagles?
Um, so yes, I think Hurts just cracks top 5. It's either Hurts or Justin Herbert, and when I think of the best quarterbacks, it's kind of hard to measure that statistic because football is 11 as one. That's what Oxford uses as slogan. That means all 11 players on offense have to do equally as good to be able to win. And the same thing on defense. All 11 players have to rally to the football. And that's where that slogan comes from. And NFL is the same thing. The quarterback, you can have a spectacular quarterback, but the rest of the team's horrible, so that quarterback's going to look as not the best. But my top 5 quarterbacks, I think, are just off pure talent, not just record-wise. I think Josh Allen is number 1. Number 2 is Joe Burrow. Number 3 is Lamar Jackson. Number 4 is Patrick Mahomes. And number 5 is either Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts. Now, obviously, this year can change. Lamar Jackson before Mahomes is very controversial, but especially since Jackson has shown that he can throw the ball downfield, I think he's generally better than Mahomes. Now, obviously, if Mahomes goes crazy this year, that could change, obviously. And also, if Joe Burrow somehow goes to the Super Bowl this year with a healthy body, that could change also for top 2 quarterbacks. What do you think?
I think I agree with you for the most part, but I'll have to say I put Pat Mahomes over Lamar and Joe Burrow of pure talent-wise and being able to lead a team into the playoffs and Super Bowl and just being winners. And I also disagree with the Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert at the 5 spot. The 5 spot for me, to be honest, Bo Nix did pretty well, especially as just a rookie. Led them to the playoffs, and they were a high contender for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that's my stance on top 5.
The only problem with Bo Nix being top 5 is I almost have to compare Bo. I know it's too early, obviously. It's just his first year. I got to compare Bo Nix to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had a excellent rookie year and then follows it up with a mediocre at best sophomore year in the NFL. So I think it's way too early to put Bo Nix in the top 5. I'd say that about Sam Darnold. Not that he's not on the same boat. Sam Darnold's 29. He's been in the NFL for so long. But this is his first year, and people are already saying that, like, he's one of the best in the NFL. But, like, he also had one of the highest interception rates in. Last year, his group was very good surrounding him. He had JSN, which was the best wide receivers last year, as terms as stats goes, and then K9, which undoubtedly won them that Super Bowl last year on the ground. Obviously, got signed by the Chiefs this offseason, but I think it floats in that same boat. Whereas Bo Nix, there's not enough film highlights on him to say that he's top 5. Obviously, he's top 10. I'd put him at top 10, but that's my argument with that.
Fair enough. That's a pretty good point, I'll admit.
Okay. Now, Mateo, you said you like the Steelers, and Sean, you said you like the Eagles. Would that be a matchup that you guys are hoping for?
So I don't know the schedule off the top of my head. Um, I want to say that the Eagles face the Steelers this offseason. I could be very wrong. Don't know it off the top of my head. But that would be a very good matchup. Steelers have a solid team. Aaron Rodgers came back for another season from free agency. Still have DK. Lost Minka Fitzpatrick, but still have TJ Watt. Still have Alex Highsmith. Still have Cameron Hayward. It would be a very good matchup.
What
Yeah,
about you?
yeah, I agree. I would like to see the matchup because obviously, as I said, I'm a Steelers fan, and my families are Eagles fans. So I'd like to see the Steelers win that matchup. But in the past, the Steelers haven't had the greatest of luck against the Eagles. The Eagles have definitely shown dominance over them, and I think that both teams are solid. The defenses, I'd say, are about the same in skill, but the Eagles' offense and their weapons, especially the wide receiver core, and they've one of the greatest, if not the greatest, running back in the NFL right now. So their offense is definitely a lot better than the Steelers. So as much of a Steelers fan that I am, I'd probably have to give it to the Eagles if they were to match up.
Will the first overall pick live up to the hype this season?
A very good question. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, picked up by the Las Vegas Raiders with the first overall pick. I don't think it's tailored to if he'll live up to the hype, live up to the expectations. I feel like all these star players in this draft just got drafted to horrible situations. Not saying that Fernando Mendoza's situation is horrible, but it's not the greatest. It's not the scheme. Obviously, he has learned the scheme. Obviously, he can do good. I think it comes down to, does he show flashes? Does he consistently look downfield? Does he look nervous in the pocket? And can he throw downfield accurately? Yes, picks will happen, and that's unfortunate. But even if he is picked off, does he have the potential to be good with a team that will develop later on? So with my answer for that, I think he will, as terms as showing flashes. I don't expect anything huge from him this year.
What about you, Mateo?
I personally don't think he will. I think as a rookie, he has less experience in like the big leagues, and I think he'll crumble under the pressure of all the all-star defenses and players. And his team that he got drafted to, the Las Vegas Raiders, definitely are not that great of a team as you've seen in the past years. So I don't think he will, because his team will like hold him back. So
It's a good answer. Okay, I think that will be the conclusion of the Hutchcast, and we'll see you for the next topic.